really doing the most? Or are you just trying to make me feel some type of way about myself?
I'm seeking your validation and approval so much that I'm understanding what you're saying, and now I'm actually thinking it, but deep down I know it's not true, but now I believe it's true. Is that what's happening? All those times where it was something that I knew deep down that I didn't want to go do, or I didn't want to be around certain people.
What happened? All right, let's begin.
Okay, so
we are talking about self-validation. This is an exciting topic, and it's a great one to do after the whole childhood emotional neglect.
If you haven't seen that video, it will be a link up here. Go watch it. Hey.
Hi, we're your hosts.
My name is Aquaj.
And my name is Simone.
Welcome to our channel. This is where we redefine self-centered.
For those of us that struggle with self, this series is designed to speak on everything surrounding self.
Through ongoing conversation, we touch on everything from self-discovery to self-discipline to self-compassion and anything self-related.
We may have to go through some uncomfortable growth, but in the end, we hope you'll see that it may be worth being a little self-centered.
So, self-validation is a Dbt skill. Basically, we seek approval and confirmation from others, you know? And we can reverse that and make it so that we seek it from ourselves. Yes. And that's the purpose of this video today.
That's the goal. That's the goal. Especially for this new year coming up. We're trying to get our self-validation.
We really are.
All right. How do we start?
Well, I first want to pose off this question to our viewers and ask them, like, what is your perception of self? What do you think of yourself?
Think about that throughout the video. Self-validation. I think self-validation is a superpower. I think when I'm not able to give myself that self-validation, I'm giving a lot of people power. I'm not able to like seek that internal validation. And so just to feel like comfortable and feel like I'm making the right decision, I go to others.
How do we start seeking validation within our own selves? Okay, so one thing I like to say, and I feel like you've probably heard us say this in our other videos, and again, it's all full circle, so you're gonna constantly hear us say the same things, but it all matters, you know?
It all matters, yeah.
Basically, learning your emotions. We are like seasons, I would say. You know how seasons come and go, and when, like, say, like, winter, snow's coming, you just have to deal with it. There's no way around it. Like, you have to go get the
That's
tires,
a perfect way to look at it,
yeah. You know? I feel like with our own feelings and emotions, instead of just letting it be and just saying it is what it is, we need to try to understand our emotions. So if you're feeling like sometimes I feel overwhelmed, and I just don't know how to address it properly. But I'm teaching myself how to do that. So what I've been doing is telling myself, like, first of all, I've been admitting to myself, I am very overwhelmed right now. I'm so overwhelmed. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I can't understand why I'm feeling this way.
Yeah.
So I'm putting that out there for myself to understand that I'm feeling this feeling. So now it's like, now that I'm feeling it, I'm processing why I am overwhelmed. I can start to like dissect it and understand why am I overwhelmed. Okay, maybe I did too much. Maybe I took too many classes. Maybe I did too much I overworked myself. Or you know what I mean? So I know next time to not do it. But basically that's me just validating why I'm feeling overwhelmed so that I can start to understand it. So I won't go to others to try to make me understand why I'm feeling overwhelmed. And when I can just turn to myself and be like, okay, you're overwhelmed. Now I can sit down and understand why am I overwhelmed.
Yeah, that's great. And then once you know it too, you're able to like actually be able to like, how do I say it? When someone's coming at you, if you're very like strong in what you feel and you know what you're feeling, people can't shake you.
Right.
You know, and they can't like manipulate you. And you don't need that like extra validation from them, because it's like, if I'm feeling this way, I'm saying I'm feeling this way, and that means I'm feeling this way. You cannot tell me that I'm not, and you can't tell me that like I'm overreacting or whatever it is, because I know my own self.
Exactly.
And that gives you a lot of power within yourself.
It gives you a lot of power.
if you're in a relationship and you like, if you know what you're worth and you know what you need and you're not getting that, you're able to get yourself up and go. Because you're able to validate what you're feeling, you know it's real, and nobody can shake you from that.
Right.
Kind of reiterating what I said before. Okay, so with self-validation, I'm learning to be nicer with myself and also tell myself the things that sometimes I want other people to tell me.
It's very hard though. It's not as easy as we're saying.
Yes. And also when we're saying all this stuff in this whole channel, we're on a journey ourselves. So everything we're saying, we're learning. It's a process. It's not as easy as it sounds, but we're learning. We're learning. Self-validation is also saying that I deserve. I love that phrase, I deserve. Because I'm trying to get used to saying that more often, but I deserve to be loved and cared for just as much as anyone else, and I'm just as worthy of it. I don't need to make excuses for myself. Well, like, it is what it is. No, I'm just as worthy of it.
Yeah.
You know, what makes me different than anybody else if we're all living the human experience? Like, what type of knowledge or what type of skill or gift that you have above me, you know, that I don't have.
Exactly. It's just right now we're trying to understand what is worth, what is self-worth, you know? How do I get that?
Yeah.
I think for me, it's been more so telling myself, like, oh, you did good. Like, when we're done recording or if I'm done with an assignment or ace the test, I'm like, oh, you did really good. Like, good job, amazing. And
pat your own self on the back.
Yeah,
honestly.
patting myself on the back. And, you know, I'll talk to my sister Sunday and she'll be like, I treated myself today. And I'll be like, why? Well, I got my assignments done, or I did this and I did that, and I accomplished what I needed to accomplish, and it was time for me to treat myself. You know?
Implement that more into your life. Treat yourself more.
Treat yourself.
Or just give yourself a pat in the back. Talk better to yourself. Be nicer to yourself. Talk to yourself like how you would talk to a friend. If you see a friend going through a hard time, you give them a lot of sympathy. Why can't you give your own self that sympathy?
That is such a great point.
Why can't you give your own self that sympathy?
Treat yourself as if you would treat the ones you love.
And if you can have empathy for them, then you can have empathy for yourself. You're way too hard on yourself. I'm way too hard on myself, and I'm learning how to get better at that.
I think it's the whole being so hard on myself. Again, it's the comparing yourself, the comparison. Like, why can't I accomplish something that person accomplished? And it's like, again, they're not me and I'm not them.
And it's like, if I look at, and it's crazy because you're thinking this of yourself, but if I look at y'all, I'll be like, actually, you're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
You see how we kind of just like brainwash ourselves to think so badly of ourselves, you know? But if anybody else were to look at us, they would be able to like be like, no, you're doing pretty good. Why can't I do that for my own self?
Right. And I constantly have people telling me like, hey, like, you're so great, like you've done so much and you're doing so good, and I'm just like, oh, thanks.
What are they seeing that we can't see?
Exactly. What are you seeing that I can't see? Because I'm not seeing what you're seeing, you know? But I'm learning how to see what they're seeing, and it's been helping, guys. It really has been helping.
It has.
I think it's just learning your own self and then knowing yourself.
Learning your strengths too gets you to, like, I feel like that's helped me build my own identity, and that's what I'm focusing on in 2022. Everything that I like, everything that I enjoy, I don't need nobody else to tell me that it's lame or it's not fun or whatever. I know that I like it, and if you don't like it, then I'm just gonna go find somebody else that does.
Exactly. And that's the thing too with the whole friendship thing. You need to evaluate your friendships, and if you're not meshing well with the group, clearly they're not a reflection of who you are.
That's
and you need to get out of that, and that's them. But you need to go find your own crowd and your own new, you know?
Tell yourself that's them. Remind yourself that's them. It's very hard to see it, but them, that one person is not the entire world. You can get so many different mixed like opinions and views depending on how you show yourself to other people. Like, some people may say you're like this, and then another person may get a different like perspective on you. They see a different side of you, you know? And so they don't know your strengths and weaknesses, and they don't know how good you are, or if you would be good at something. You know that because you're with yourself the entire time. And
what I would like to say with all of this is basically you need to be accepting of change, and you need to be okay with that. Why I say this is because if you're stuck in the same mindset and you're just trapped in the mindset, you're never going to change, or you're never going to better yourself. But when you start to accept change and understand that like other things can be good for me too, And just stop being so closed-minded. Like, start being more open-minded about things. Like, try new things.
Without the judgment of other people.
Yes.
For me, I've loved slam poetry for so long, you know? And I think that I don't need nobody else to tell me if it's cool or not. I know 2022, I'm going to put myself out there and show people what exactly I like. That's how I'm validating myself. It's by I'm validating myself by doing the things that I love. And I don't need you to love it.
Right.
If I like slam poetry, I like that. If I like making YouTube videos, I like that. You don't need to tell me what I should be doing. You don't have to agree with it, but I'm so confident in myself that, like, I know I could do good. And if you really deep down feel like you could be really good at something and you let other people change your mind about it, that regret is not worth it.
Right.
That regret is not worth it at all.
And that's something that I do want to touch on later on in another video. But fear.
Ooh, yes.
The factor of fear and where it comes from and why we're so fearful of things. And it basically stems from the approval of others. And we're afraid of being judged, or we're afraid of, like, failing in other people's eyes, you know?
Yeah, and you start to see as you start this process that it's not as scary as you think.
It's not.
You know, that fear it's not as scary as you think. And it's not as, like, how do I say it? Like, I don't know.
It's not as hard as you think. And I say this only because I feel, again, too, I want to talk about this in another video, but I just want to make that point of when you are going through something and you're about to accept something new or going towards a fear, once you get into it, you understand that you got to start changing things up a little bit. Okay, so with this whole YouTube thing, you know, we came to each other and we were just like, okay, we want to start this channel. But it was like, we don't have a camera. We don't have this. We are full-time students. We work. We this. But we still found a way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We just have to change a few things up. Dedicate some things to it.
And can you imagine if you had came to me, or if I came to you and, like, I said, oh, let's do YouTube, and then you're like, I don't think that's that cool.
Yeah.
And I decided not to do it, or you decided not to do it. Do you see how much power I just gave that person?
Right.
Like, that's a lot of power to give somebody. Like, them being able to influence decisions that could possibly make your life better. They shouldn't have that much, like, control over you.
I think this new mindset, and if you are open to change, you need to stop giving so much people, or giving people so much of your power. By allowing other people to form a mindset within your own, or change the way you think on something that you thought so strong of, but because you want to be like them, you're going to change who you are. You're giving all of your power to that person. And you really need to learn how to stop doing that if you want to be okay with yourself. And be okay with life, you know?
People are so temporary too. People are going to come and go out of your life, but you are going to stay with yourself the entire time. Can you imagine if you let somebody from 5 years ago affect you in a decision where they're not even in your life anymore? Was it worth it? Was it really honestly worth it, that, like, fear of judgment from them? Was it really worth it?
I think with me personally, and I can say this with you, you know, we're very close, so we kind of go through the same things, but with the whole self-validation and the whole seeking approval from others and learning how to let people go, that was something that we struggled with a lot, is learning how to let people go. But once we started to learn how to let those friendships and those people that were in our lives go,
validate our own feelings.
And we learned how to validate our own feelings. It was more so like, okay, why do I want to let this person go? Why is it now, this time right now, I'm finally coming to terms that, like, this has to get out of my life, you know? That was me validating my own feelings and understanding that this relationship has caused me this type of, you know, stress, this type of trauma, it just took so much out of me. And I had to really validate my own feelings. And as I'm going through, like, the acceptance part of it, I'm learning so much. Like, I'm learning what I don't like and how I don't want to be treated again. And it's really helping me. And that's me validating myself, you know?
Yeah, with each experience, we get better with validating ourselves.
Yes.
After each relationship, I get better with saying, you know what? I don't like that and I shouldn't be treated like that, and moving on, I know that this needs to be here because I'm worthy of having that and I should be able to have that. I deserve that. You know? So it's I can't wait to see how it would be like 20 years from now if I keep this up, you know? Because I think it would be pretty cool.
You know, I think another thing too is with the whole self-validating and stuff, when it comes to like friendships, relationships, whatever, etc. Sometimes we have these feelings and emotions that we don't understand, and we're not allowing ourselves to understand those feelings and emotions, and we just let things slide. And we just let things continue and go on until it took so much out of us, and we can't really like, I don't know, we don't really have anybody else to blame but ourselves. But it's like once you finally understand that you've been, you know, used or you've been manipulated or you've been like, you know, you start to validate your own feelings.
Yeah, so in order to avoid that, start validating what you're feeling.
Yes, right then and there, actually.
When you see
like,
it.
Literally right then and there. Red flags, validate yourself. Tell yourself, no, that's a red flag for me, and now I have to go. Or not even go, but maybe just address it. That's something that I want to address. I need to be more confronting. I
don't need to let things slide.
Yeah.
You know?
There's no more.
And I shouldn't be afraid.
2022, there's no more. It is what it is.
There's no more. It is what. I'm tired of hearing that phrase.
If somebody comes to me and says it is what it is, I'm walking away. I'm walking away.
Because the way you just look at everything is not the way I look at it.
Right.
And I don't want to be forced to look at it that way because it's very self-sabotaging for my own self. And I need to be able to call that out.
Me, I'm stressed.
I'm stressed.
I'm stressed.
I'm stressed. Ooh, child. Self-validation. Self-validation. Some affirmations.
Trust your instincts.
Trust your instincts.
Please.
Why should I trust my instincts, sis?
Trust your instincts.
Why? Tell the people. Tell them.
Let me sit up close for you guys to understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You need to learn how to start trusting your own instincts. And when you have that instinct that strikes in your head, you need to go with it.
Go with it.
Go with that instincts. And I'm saying this with all this compassion and anger because I'm telling you.
You see this right now? You see how she's getting like worked up right now? Someone has angered her.
All of the times where I have done things with other people, like have hung out with other people or, you know, been around other people, and it's like, I know I don't want to do something. I know I don't want to go here. I know I don't want to go, you know?
Stop it. You're being lame. That's what they say.
That's what they say. Continue.
Stop it. Bro, you're being too uptight. Just have fun. Relax.
And you know what I would do? Maybe you're right.
You're right.
And deep down, I know they're not right.
They're not right.
They're not right.
Trust
your instincts because you know what?
For the love of God.
For the love of God. Because all of those times where it was something that I knew deep down that I didn't want to go do or I didn't want to be around certain people.
What happened? Disappointment after disappointment after disappointment.
And time, and the thing is that they don't understand our friendship and our dynamic, but the amount of times that Amo and I, from when we first started hanging out to now, all the times where it was like, damn, we ended the night and we were just like, damn, we should have just stayed home. We should have just stayed home, or
I should have never listened to y'all because y'all set me up.
And you guys suck.
Look what happened. I listened to you and now I'm disappointed. Do you see the pattern? Do you see the pattern when you give other people the power to influence your decisions? I should have just listened to myself. I would have been happy with myself. But I listened to you and now I'm sad. Do you see? This is why I need to start trusting myself.
And sometimes I'm just like, you know how people say everything is like a life lesson, blah, blah, blah? I didn't need that lesson.
I didn't. I
knew within myself that I didn't want the lesson. I knew it wasn't something that I needed to learn. I knew it was a lesson that I didn't need to gain. Because I knew within myself, I needed to just trust my own instincts and understand that that was something that I didn't need to go through.
You saw the signs too. The thing is we always see the signs. And then we'll be like, no.
But what was it? It was seeking validation. It was seeking validation within other people.
Yes, basically. Every single time we see the signs and we didn't listen to ourselves, no, I'm not making that mistake 2022. From now on, if I say no, I mean no.
But I'm all okay.
No,
but I'm all okay.
No,
Like,
leave me alone.
Save yourself.
Save yourself.
Save yourself.
Please watch out for your own self because you are all you have. And if you let your own self go and just follow other people.
Again, too, guys, it's more so this whole new era of self-learning and self-loving is going back and understanding why I need to learn this stuff and relearn these things. Like, I know a lot of these things you probably learned when you were growing up, but clearly you didn't learn it the right way.
Clearly, they set you up.
They set you up
to be disappointed. And
remember, you're a victim.
But the good thing is, you can do something about it. That's always a good thing.
Exactly.
You can do so many things about it. We are living in an age where you can Google anything. You can find self-help books. You can listen to podcasts. You can find so much information on how to better yourself and improve yourself and work on your own development that there is no reason why you should continue to be like, well, I can't do nothing about it.
Again, too, we are all victims. But let me just say this one thing is that we need to get out of that victim mindset in order to do better for ourselves. And that's us reclaiming self-worth.
That is. Even if I have failed in the past to validate my own self, that doesn't mean for the rest of my life that is what it is.
Exactly. Stop that it is what it is.
It's not, it is what it is. For the love of
no more. No more.
It is not what it is. It is not what it is.
There's more to the story.
There's so much more. There's so much more that you can add to it. Please.
Do better for yourself.
Get up and do something about it.
Please.
Start working on it. We're working on it.
We're working on it.
We're working on it.
You know, for us personally, I feel like we get a lot of people saying like, oh, you're doing the most, or
Am I really? Am I really doing the most? Or are you just trying to make me feel some type of way about myself? Am I really doing the most? What is it that is irritating you right now? What did I do that triggered you?
What is it?
Are you triggered?
Are you triggered
by the amount of effort I put into things that you wish you could have put effort into? Is that what it is?
Is that what it is? Are you emotionally unstable as yourself and now you're trying to reflect that on me?
And you're trying to reflect that on me now.
And now you're bringing troubling thoughts to me.
Yeah, and it's working because I'm starting to believe it.
And because myself, I'm not okay sometimes. I'm seeking your validation and approval so much that I'm understanding what you're saying and now I'm actually thinking it, but deep down I know it's not true, but now I believe it's true. Is that what's happening?
Did you see how much control you just had over me? I don't like that.
I don't like that.
I don't like that.
And
I think I'm gonna take my control back.
That's what you need to start doing is, I don't like how much control you just had over me in that situation. I'm taking it back now. I'm taking my control back.
I don't like how you affect me. I don't like how you influence me, or I don't like the way that your actions make me feel some type of way. I don't like that. And I'm saying it. I'm getting better at saying it. I'm saying it, you know?
Say it to yourself.
Say it to yourself.
Write it down. I keep saying this, but it's so important. Write down your feelings. Try to understand why you're feeling some type of way by writing it down. Yeah. Take this video and learn from it, please, my friend.
My friend, please. Save yourself the trouble. Save yourself the trouble. Look after yourself. Take care of yourself.
Look after yourself.
Validate yourself.
Validate yourself.
Love yourself.